Good morning, toy fans, and welcome back to Hermione's Toy Box. This is a Dad episode here because Dad got some new toys. I've got before me here the second wave of Super 7's Sesame Street reaction figures. The first wave was pretty successful and was a hit with me for sure, and had Bert and Ernie, the Yip Yip Martians, and of course the Count Von Count. And so now you've got the second wave here. Super 7 has released, they've been out for a little bit. They were in my pile of loot. Big Bad Toy Store got shipped a while back, and finally getting around to opening them. So you've got Lefty the salesman over here. Kind of a character I actually had to take a minute to remember, but he's the one who's always, hey, you want to buy an 8? Or whatever letter or number they were promoting, that week, that episode. Of course, the incomparable Cookie Monster with, of course, some cookies. Oscar the Grouch as well with his best friend Slimy, the worm. And then, of course, Guy Smiley, who I always thought was great, game show host character. And he does come with the loaf of bread from the classic episode of This Is Your Life, when they brought the bread in thinking she was going to be part of a sandwich, and then they did her life. So anyway, these are fantastic. Great attention to detail, especially considering they're fairly limited on their articulation, kind of classic retro stylings. But this is the second of what I hope to be several waves. I mean, you've got some heavy hitters still out there. You've got to do Big Bird. You've got to do, I'm hoping Hairy Monster, Gladys the Cow. I mean, let us know in the comments, who do you hope to see in Super 7's Sesame Street reaction waves? They do have blind boxes of these coming to Target, and they will be some different colorways of them. One in particular is going to be Oscar the Grouch in his original color. And here's a trivia moment for you if you don't know. What was Oscar the Grouch's original color when Sesame Street first debuted? Anybody know? Take your time and think. And here's the answer. The answer is orange, which I think they did that probably on purpose there. So there's an orange colorway of Oscar coming, otherwise exactly the same figure. Still, I believe, comes with Slimy. And there's also a really kind of neat translucent Cookie Monster, translucent blue plastic, and he will have some cookies rattling around inside his massive belly here, okay? And again, yes, for those of you who know your zoology and such, Cookie Monster and all of these Muppets with these forward-facing eyeballs that top their heads, that's an ambush predator, all right? Cookie Monster is a classic. Always love Cookie Monster. One of my favorite children's books ever is Cookie Monster and the Cookie Tree. If you haven't read it, what are you doing with your life? Get out there and do it. So let's take a moment here and open these up, and I think we'll just go across the board here. Lefty, of course, on the left here. So we'll take a look at that, and we're gonna put these guys back here so we can enjoy Lefty the salesman first, all right? We did previously review the first wave. I did that in my classroom. Here I am at my kitchen table. So Lefty the salesman here. The back just has color, showing you wave 1 and 2, hoping for many more. One thing I've kind of kept an eye out for, Facebook Marketplace and things, is I really would like to track down. I had probably the second iteration, I think it was, Fisher-Price's Sesame Street playset back in the day, for like the little people, and I think this would be a great little set to have these guys populate. If anybody has a good line on one, let me know. So of course, let's get his accessory out first. It's just the number 8. It's just the number 8. All right, or maybe it's an infinity. No, it's the number 8. And Lefty would just keep this in his little trench coat. And hey, you want to buy a number? And it's just a classic. I didn't remember him when they first mentioned him, and it seemed like it took forever for Super 7 to show us the figures, even though they had announced them. great attention to detail on these things. I mean, look at that. I don't know if it's coming across very well, but look at that tie. I mean, just the detailed printing. I think it was just kind of screen printed on there or something. So again, just like classic, I mean, the belt buckle's painted, right? You know, no articulation other than the basic, you know, and again, I would kind of hesitate to, I don't want to rub the paint off that button there. But very much like Obi-Wan Kenobi, you know, or other robed characters in the classic Star Wars vintage line. You know, and the articulations are nice and tight. I don't need him to do a whole lot. I need him to be able to hold this letter 8 and try to sell it to me, all right? Lefty the salesman, little underhanded, you know, kind of your dealer type. Hey, you want to subscribe to the channel? Huh? It'd be great if you did. Because we do have plenty of other things. This pile of loot came with a bunch of other stuff. We've got Turtles of Grayskull to take a look at. We have other Masters of the Universe. By the way, we did find, for those of my Masters of the Universe Origins friends, I've got Lord Grasp and Terror. We found them, Cousin Freddy and I went into a Walmart in Arkansas while we were on a road trip, and we found those. So plenty of things coming around. Let's go ahead and open Cookie Monster now, all right? So we got Lefty the Salesman, Cookie Monster. C is for cookie, it's good enough for me. I'm not going to sing this song for you, it's too early. I do hang on to the card backs, but I'm not too worried about just, you know, not completely destroying them, but, you know, I'm a pack rat, I guess. All right, so we've got Cookie Monster. He's a nice big, I love that they're doing these in scale, by the way. The blue is perfect, but if you kind of know if you can see it coming up on the camera, but it does almost look like there's a subtle wash. And Cookie, I guess I'm not doing his accessories first. There's no rhyme or reason. I mean, I might be rhyming it as Sesame Street after all. All right, okay. And then that does seem a little loose, but it does, it's tight enough where he'll hold that, all right? And gosh, how great to have like just a good Cookie Monster. Now, he won't maybe sit so well, you know, and when you have a bulbous belly like this, it's not always easy to have the perfect sitting, but you know, I'd rather they don't break up the sculpt too much and do the right thing. 4 toes and 5 fingers on Cookie Monster. Did you all know this? This is a, you know, again, one of those weird physiologies of Muppets. You know, another translucent kind of fun thing to do would be, what if they did a translucent version of a Muppet and they sculpted the puppeteer inside, right? Would that be too much? Maybe too much. Little Frank Oz action in there. So Cookie Monster does come with 2 chocolate chip cookies, and one is complete, of course, and the other one is bitten off. So we're gonna put the full cookie in here. I like how he's got his fingers kind of, he's holding that one up over his head. He's inspecting it. Smell like cookie. Feel like cookie. Sorry, I'm enjoying myself far too much. Maybe not enough, I don't know. Your mileage may vary. Come on, Cookie. Come on, Cookie. Oh, I'm gonna bend this cookie. Okay, so I bent the cookie a little bit. That's okay, I can fix it. So he's got a nice bite taken out of it, which is hilarious because we all know Cookie Monster just shoved these things right into his maw, his gaping cookie eating maw. All right, now he's a happy Cookie Monster, right? Yeah, Cookie's a classic character. You can't have a Sesame Street collection without Cookie Monster. There's this little date material on there. They put Lefties on the back of his jacket. All right, I'm digging these. I think Cookie might be one of my favorites in the line so far. Bert and Ernie are classics. Love Bert and Ernie. But Cookie and Lefty joining us now. Oh, do I want to save Guy Smiley for last? Do I want to do it? Let's just keep going the way I said. Okay, let's go with Oscar the Grouch. Now, Oscar's a character that I've always liked as well, because I think, you know, we can all relate to Oscar sometimes. Oscar is the, you know, Oscar and Garfield on a Monday, right? Which, by the way, if you like Garfield, Boss Fight Studios has announced that they are doing at least a small Garfield line. I don't know if they'll plan on going further than their first wave. The first wave has Garfield, of course, Odie, and Nermal the cat. And Nermal, if there's a nice card back, the art, classic art. Nermal's the one Garfield was always trying to ship off. So, okay, look at this detail on, even on Slimy. All right, Slimy the worm with the little, now they taped him in there pretty good. Oh my goodness, I love tiny accessories, you know? I'm always interested to see what the tiniest accessories are. And again, pardon the iPhone, but look at, like, he's got the eyes painted. All right, no, it's not maybe the best, but that looks, that's Slimy. And I guess this isn't just an accessory. This is possibly the smallest action figure I own. But I'm glad they did it. Now, I would have loved, and there's still a chance, I suppose, if they did, oh gosh, now I'm blanking and I'm gonna be a bad Muppet fan. I would really like it if they did, it's not Sully, Sully's the construction worker. Oh good, it's even got a, oh, that's delightful. All right, look at, hey, scram! Right? Now, an articulated jaw would have been cool in here too, but if you, let's see if we can get some light shining down into it. There's still a sculpt that goes a ways down. You've got a decent, very good for that. Oh, you know, the big walk around Muppet when they would have Oscar in the can, someone walking him around, manipulating the puppet. That's just a great little trash can too. If you need a trash can for your 3 3/4 inch scale figures, that's one of the nicest trash cans I've seen. I think, oh look, and he's just, that's perfect. That's good. That's real good. It'll even push the lid up. He goes up. That's as high as he goes. But here's my question. I'm kind of wondering, can I get, oh, I think I can. Look, Slimy can kind of fit in there. Right? I could probably get him to stand up a little straight. I guess you can't stand if you don't have, you know? But that's pretty clever right there. You can kind of get him to lean. He looks like he's leaning in with his friend. Again, I apologize for that. You know, it's an iPhone. What are we gonna do? That's great though. That looks like an Oscar face. And again, they're all just great scale together, right? Excellent stuff. I'm digging that. So last but not least, I don't know where the least is on this one. You've got Guy Smiley, all right? Now, Guy Smiley is, again, unless you're a hardcore, maybe you don't remember him. I don't even know if Guy Smiley still shows up on Sesame Street. But he was always a favorite of mine. I think every time I had to dress up, I felt like Guy Smiley, all right? But Guy Smiley, again, I believe a Jim Henson character, voice fairly similar to Kermit the Frog, all right? Guy Smiley hosted several different game shows throughout, but one of my favorites was the one in which this bread is featured, all right? And it was This Is Your Life, and it would be, you know, you bring a character or a thing or a basic, you know, I'm doing the bread first, I guess, everyday object, and throw it on the kitchen floor. All right, we'll go back for the bread later. Here's Guy Smiley. Hey everybody, it's Guy Smiley. It's not enough. See, I'm going too far into Kermit the Frog here. But Guy Smiley was, you know, because Kermit and Jim Henson sounded fairly remarkably similar anyway. Guy Smiley was maybe more basic Jim Henson voice, yeah. So again, you know, he's maybe the most, I'm not gonna say boring, the most generic. I don't know, you can't have a generic Muppet, can you? Now one thing, and I think it would just be hard on this scale, and something that I think Ninja Turtle fans currently are understanding with the, the remastered Playmates figures, is the texture. You know, Palisades Muppet line, and even, again, bringing back our friends at Boss Fight Studios. Boss Fight Studios doing a bit of that Muppet texture on their current Fraggle Rock line, which I do have the first wave, also just showed up. and man, you gotta check those out. Okay, I got a video coming up pretty soon-ish. But yeah, here we go. Guy Smiley. No real Muppet texture, but man, they got the Muppet proportions and the little wedge nose and all that, right? So Guy Smiley here, game show host of, This Is Your Life. And I gotta fish the bread off the floor. It's way over there. But there you go. That's wave 2. I was gonna say 4. That is wave 2 of Reaction Sesame Street from Super 7, and I'm a happy camper. These are going to look great displayed with the others, and man, if I can get my hands on a vintage Fisher Price Sesame Street playset, I would love to populate it with these. But there you go. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and give us a like, subscribe. It's not costing you anything to subscribe, and there you go. Good journey. After I finished recording, I did look up, and the rumored Wave 3 is supposed to be Sherlock Hemlock, Super Grover, Big Bird, and Mr. Hooper. So we'll get a first human character. Pretty fantastic. And here we have the entire collection as it is on display in our toy room. Hermione's Toy Box, Cookie Monster, Count Von Count, the Yip Yip Martians, Ernie, Bert with Rubber Ducky and Bernice, Oscar and Slimy, Guy Smiley and Bread, and of course Lefty the Salesman and 8. Enjoy. Take care, subscribe, and good journey.